welcome again to some 0K action. It's going to be 1 versus 1 on the Titan map, so this one's going to be a bit longer, which should be indicated in the the video length before you actually clicked on the video, most likely. But in any case, yeah, it's going to be myself, Lightman versus Danielle. We'll skip the pre-game chatter. And if I remember correctly, I will be playing a little bit better this time around. So let's have a look. Danielle's at the bottom left there. Okay, very interesting spawns. Thought was supposed to mostly spawn over there, but whatever. Danielle's going to be at the bottom left. For Commander Junior, strangely enough, going with Cloaky bots. So what does this thing have exactly? Huh. Okay then. Alright then, well whatever. So we've got the Commander Junior, we got Cloaky bots for Danielle, so you're going to be going with a bit of a conservative build with Rectors. Actually, I'm surprised that Danielle hasn't built a couple of quick laser turrets, or at least defenders, but in either case, myself, Lightman, I'm going to be going for Cloaky bots as well, and going for slightly more aggression with my glaives. They're just going to be scouting around, if I remember correctly, indeed, I think actually what happened was that even though the spawn points or spawn zones were off to the sides there, I believe we could actually choose where to spawn, where we wanted to spawn basically. And not really sure why that was the case. I think it was the fact that we weren't in teams 1 and 2. As you can see, we got team 3 and 4, which I don't think had any spawn zones there. Actually, what's this? Spectators, unnamed player. Oh, whatever. Anyway, we got some combat happening as well. I missed that, but what the hell actually happened? I don't actually see any... Oh, here we go. So yeah, my glaive went in. Yeah, it didn't really do anything anyway. Didn't even damage the metal extractor, so I'm not really sure what the hell it even did actually, if it managed to get that far in without actually damaging anything. But whatever, I did actually scout out my opponent, so I know exactly where he is. Still got a couple more glaives scouting around, just in case, I guess. But yeah, Danielle's going to be mostly sticking to his base, and rather than expanding mexes, he's going to be trying to overdrive them instead. Interesting tactic. I've seen that happen in a couple of other... Well, when I've seen a couple of other people play 0K in 1 versus 1s, rather than trying to expand their metal extractors in the first place, or rather not in the first place, but rather initially what they would do is they would... not bad. They would... instead try to overdrive their mexes instead, which I'm not really sure how effective that actually is. I mean, this one's overdrived by only 14%, actually now 58%, goes up and down a bit, but in any case my glaive does come in. Actually manages to take out one of Danielle's glaives, so not too shabby indeed, and a mex as well, so not too shabby indeed. A couple of Lotuses, or hell, even just a couple of defenders really would have been able to take out my raider pretty easily. It was mostly there just a bit of light raiding and scouting just to see what he was doing. Hopefully I would have noticed at that point that he was mostly sticking to his own base. So myself, I am going to be expanding forward, and yeah, actually am going to be setting up a couple of defenders as I go along. And as you can see, I'm actually setting up more power generation compared to the previous game as well. Thank God for that. So I'm going to be... well, let's have a look. What is he doing? Okay, yep, just going to be linking the metal extractors most likely. Actually, I could have queued up some more wind generators there, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, a couple more defenders as well, just to help defend, mostly just against, you know, single or dual raider attacks. Nothing too serious, but better than nothing. And of course got an early raider, well, relatively early raider for myself there, and yeah, it's actually going to have a decent radius on it. My opponent's Danielle, on the other hand, does not have that. He's actually going to be pushing as much of his build power into his Cloaky bot factory as he can. Just having a look at the overall incomes. Okay, so he's actually slightly ahead in metal income, interestingly enough, despite the fact that I could swear I've expanded more than he has actually, but he is overdriving a bit as well actually, so there's that to consider. Surprised actually that he didn't put these solar collectors around, like as in close formation around the metal extractor, just to give it a bit more protection. Instead he just put it sort of in a bit of a spread formation there, and even behind the mex in this case, which is Very strange indeed, not really sure what the hell this car was doing, just sitting around waiting to see when their stuff would come out. In case nice little side swipe by my own glaive there actually, going to be avoiding the defences more or less, except for this defender which I think it actually hit its own metal extractor. But in case, yeah, managing to avoid the defences for a bit and destroying some of their mexes. Unfortunately, raiders do get destroyed, but I dare say that was definitely worth it. Still have to worry about these mexes which are being nicely overdrived. Well, how about this one though? Yeah, this one actually is being overdrived a bit as well. So as for incomes again, yeah, my income's starting to surge a bit. My energy income is actually quite a bit higher than my opponent's there. One thing I actually should have taken note of was the defender being behind a couple of these wind generators. The raiders could have well, because they would have been coming from this direction, they might have been able to take advantage of the wind gens standing in the way of the defender. I suppose that's something I'll have to remember next time. In any case, there we go, queuing up some more windmills. Not really sure why they queue them back like that. Probably because I was too lazy to queue them multiple times to properly face the metal extractors, but whatever. And not really sure why exactly. Wow. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. That's I'm going to be going all the way around there then to that spot. Okay then, I'm not really sure what I did with that expansion command. I'm pretty sure that's the command I used, that mex expansion command, or whatever the hell it's called. But yeah, that's very bizarre. Yeah, not really sure what the hell to make of that, but whatever, very bizarre expansion indeed. Yeah, in any case, my radar's up, it's going to be seeing the defenders, going to be seeing anything coming through here. Let's just have a look at something actually, this Rector. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, they cannot scale these cliffs, but yeah, they can actually go through here. I do have some defences set up, although actually they won't even cover this bit here, but yeah, I don't really have much at all when it comes to actual defences there. They could technically stream through, I don't think they can go down these cliffs, so they have to go down through here, and I do have just some light defences to help there, but in either case, yeah, I'm going to be continually expanding. This guy is, okay, just the basic E-cell commander, fancy laser blaster that he gets by default. And look at that, I'm even expanding into my opponent's territory. I should have actually got the Lotus beforehand, because, well, just knowing that I was expanding straight into my opponent's territory, I really should have got the Lotus beforehand. Although, 10 seconds to go, if I'm lucky, it should hopefully be done by the time these glaives make it up here. Let's have a look. Get it right in on the action. What the hell? Oh, he's actually... Oh, very good move by Daniel, actually slowing down the construction of the Lotus, because he was actually reclaiming it at the same time that I was building it. So apparently you can actually do that on stuff that's under construction, and that clutch move pretty much saves that expansion for him, which, strange enough, he didn't expand to beforehand. Actually, I could have expanded here, now that I think of it. It's a free spot, a free metal spot right there, actually, that I should have gone to. Whoopsie long. Got a couple of other 3 metal spots here and there, well, mostly just 2s. In any case, I'm going to be occupying by force the little plateau right next to my opponent's base, since he doesn't seem to like me building defences and all that there, so see how that works out. Rocco's also coming in to skirmish me, and it's not such a bad manoeuvre by Daniel really, especially given the fact that yeah, he's going to be able to lead me straight into those defenders. I could have actually just kept on going, really, and probably just swarm those defenders with what I had and taken them out, but nope, I decide to retreat instead. Daniel also setting up some defenders' defense here, and as you can see, he's going to be locked into his base quite a bit. I've actually got another radar here as well, just to look out what's happening. Let's just have a look. Okay, yeah, no problemo. So yeah, actually spotting quite a bit of the map, as you can see. There's one particular blind spot actually, which is this top area where he could technically go through, although his forces will be spotted once they reach this area. They can't really go down here without getting spotted, as you can see, and they can't go down there the cliffs anyway, so there you go. In either case, I do have Daniel boxed in quite nicely, if I do say so. He's still overdriving like mad though, so his income is not that much behind mine, it seems. In fact, our energy incomes are relatively even as well. Mine's slightly ahead, but not by much, to say the least. And look at this, talk about bloody audacity. I'm actually going to be expanding with my Rector. Oh, and I should have seen this actually, yep, because they start off cloaked until they get close enough to an enemy unit or building, or until they actually start building or something like that. I should have reacted in time to get rid of the, or rather to retreat him before he actually got detected, which kind of sucks, but oh well. What can you do? The glaives instead are going to come in against my warrior bot, who should be able to take them out relatively easily. Good. Almost gets taken out in the process, but of course they're not invincible, of course. Losing, holy shit, losing quite a few glaives of my own actually to quadruple warrior bots there. And a fifth one who was too far away to do anything, so that was a bit of a bad maneuver by myself there. And well, fitting out my forces like that is going to be putting Danielle back into the game essentially. I do still have a nice little raider force here, but at the same time Danielle does have the proper warriors to deal with it. Let's see, is he still going for... Okay, so glaives, Roccos, and warriors actually. 4 warriors for every 4 glaives and 3 Roccos. Interesting unit mixture there, to say the least. In either case, I'm continuing to expand, as you can see. God damn, really expanding actually. And yeah, thankfully my energy income should be keeping up with that. I can't believe I didn't build a mix there. Oh well, whatever. Maybe I'll actually manually build it with the builder. I do new. Got another attack actually happening. In either case, I'm going to be not really sure what the hell I'm doing there actually. Maybe it's just a bit of a probing attack. Not really losing too much, just a couple of glaives here and there, but the kind of stuff I don't really want to be losing, to say the least. So it looks like I'm going to be replying with Zeus's rather than with artillery. Normally in this situation I would actually just use artillery to bombard the enemy defences, but well, I suppose I just felt in this case that Zeus's would be a better idea. And well, given the defences, we just got defenders and lotuses, well, pretty light defences really. I dare say that the Zeus's are going to excel against them. If they were going up against heavier laser turrets, multiple ones anyway, they would have a bit of trouble. But as it is, yeah, actually I should be alright. Especially, yeah, actually this is a good reaction by myself there. I must have noticed all the warriors in all my raids that I went through. I must have noticed the fact that my opponent was building a hell of a lot more warriors. And of course, Zeus is the perfect thing to attack them, yeah, to attack them with, basically. So, we'll see what happens though. My opponent is continuing to expand though, with crap loads of defences actually. God damn. Not bad, but as you can see I'm expanding mostly without defences. I do actually have a couple of defences set up here and there, but mostly I'm just relying on the radar towers to provide sight, and for my raiders to try to reply to whatever the opponent's doing. He doesn't really have too many raiders of his own in either case. I do have a couple of defences here and there, but yeah, well, I should never let so many raiders get sacrificed actually. It's just as well that my opponent didn't have too many of his own to reply with, otherwise he could have actually done a bit of damage if he knew where to go actually. There's actually wait a minute. Interesting, let's have a look. Yeah, actually I don't think, yeah, he wouldn't have been able to go down there, he'd have to go around. But in any case, yeah, there are a couple of more forward defences set up. And there we go, actually do have some artillery units after all, as well as some Zeus's, so it should be interesting to see how this is going to work out. My raiders are going to be running ahead. I definitely should be holding them back actually against this amount of freaking warriors. I mean, Jesus, look at this. They should not be running forward at all. I should be letting the Zeus's take the brunts there. So basically, yeah, just streaming in my forces there. Could have been a little bit more organised, but oh well, what can you do? I think my artillery is actually hitting some of my own units even, but I am actually doing quite a bit of damage at the very least, taking quite a bit of damage in return though, but at the same time, yeah, overwhelming his defensive line, forcing his Roccos to go back. And this is the point where I should have actually sent in my glaives. Thankfully I do still have a few spare glaives, and because these Roccos are actually being lured into a corner, then I can actually take them out pretty quickly with the Zeus's, and yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do in fact. Yep, I'm going to go right into the Roccos' faces, and yeah, their fancy range is basically going to do them no good at all, though they will get some shots off while they're... okay, I don't know what that guy's doing, yeah, while they're backed up against the wall there, but yeah, overall though, managing to overcome my opponent's defense there with some losses though, losing quite a few of those Zeus's, and unnecessarily losing quite a few glaives to the warriors. I really should have controlled them a bit better and sent in the Zeus's ahead of them, but ah well, what can you do, eh? Actually, one thing I'm surprised we haven't seen from either player is the use of ticks actually. I think I did have my forces bundled up at certain points where my opponents could have overcome them with a couple of ticks, well not overcome them, but stunned them with a couple of ticks, but ah well. What can you do, eh? What can you do? Artillery is just continuing to hammer at them while my Zeus's soak up the damage mostly. Unfortunately, the Rockos are going to keep taking pot shots at them, and they actually are wearing down my Zeuses, which is very unfortunate actually. He is really doing quite a bit of damage to me, but at the same time though, my income is leagues beyond Danielle's. As you can see, 73 to 26 metal, 58 energy to 55 is actually relatively even. And yeah, this is actually, I think, where I start to e-stall, as you can see at the bottom right, because I'm actually building caretakers. I actually screwed up on the hotkey that I was meant to be using. Oh, Jesus Christ. Very amusing indeed, but yeah, definitely screwing up the build there, building caretakers rather than energy plants. That's going to screw up my builder bits there. So yeah, a bit of a mistake on my behalf there, but oh well, what can you do? I've actually got plenty of caretakers pumping pumping build power into the factory, yeah. So does my opponents, but my economy is just overall better than his. Unfortunately though, I am stalling, of course, but that's because I completely screwed up with these fucking caretakers. There we go, finally correct that mistake and just continue on with power plants. But yeah, a major stuff up by myself. If the game was a bit closer, then it probably would have cost me the game right there and there actually. But thankfully though, as you can see, I've basically kept my opponents pretty well contained actually. I even got a Lotus to help defend. It's going to be overwhelmed by multiple warriors and Rockos, but at the same time though, I am actually doing an alright job keeping them contained. Even got another radar tower just to keep a lookout. And actually my opponent Danielle really should have sent in some raiders at this point rather than relying on Rockos. Ah well, what can you do? Still there is slowly but surely marching up against my metal extractors, and I don't have anything to reply to that. I'm instead focusing on his main base. And yeah, I have to be careful of these glaives though. I'm trying to get at the Rockos by the looks of it, but the warriors by Danielle are very well positioned to take out my glaives. But at the same time though, my Zeus is finally coming in. They're going to be stunning the shit out of these warriors and taking them out, so it's just a matter of trying to just managing my glaives so that they don't actually get too close to the warriors before I take them out. I mean, look at this. If I had left my glaives back just for a few more seconds and let the Zeuses handle the warriors, then I would have had, well, at least a dozen more glaives right there and then. That would have been alive. But what can you do? I'm still continuing to stream into his base. Rocco's now going up against these Lotuses, but yeah, they're going to get taken out though, so not much harassment actually being done there. Surprised I didn't actually try to back away there. In case, there goes Commander for that's the commander right there. There goes the commander for Danielle. I'm just continuing to stream into his base. Not really much he can do about this. He does have some pretty heavy defenses set up at different points, and a couple of shield generators even. Interesting. But as you can see, I'm just completely ignoring that. I mean, granted, this makes, well, it is a free. It does provide a free metal income, 3 metal income. But really, I can afford to ignore that to go straight for the enemy base here. So he kind of did waste a bit of build power on building up all these static defenses that I can just bypass. He did actually get a geothermal plant, which is something I forgot to get myself, I'm pretty sure. In any case, there goes a fusion reactor. There goes the Cloakybot factory. Don't think there's much else they can do. It looks like my energy is back up. In fact, actually, I'm starting to float metals. So I actually need to get got crap loads of caretakers, in fact. Jesus Christ, I probably should get another factory, in fact, because, well, yeah, look at that. Look at that, it's just bloody ridiculous. Gotta love it. Okay, there we go, finally building a couple more caretakers just to help out. But the thing is, though, that delay... wow, that's fast. That delay between units being built is actually going to be, well, getting me to float some resources as well. But as you can see, even so, I've still got, well, I still managed to just get more caretakers. I'm not floating resources anymore. In fact, I'm actually e-stalling again and floating metal, actually. Whoops. Oh my god. I'm still continuing to build windmills though, so interesting how that works out. Maybe I could have had more than one builder building windmills. I probably could have built a fusion plant or 2 as well, but oh well, what can you do? Danielle is still continuing to stay alive. He actually is going to be building a caretaker, so he does actually have a pretty heavily defended position here. My glaive is going to be discovering that to his detriment, so it's Zeus by the looks of it. Yeah, going all the way there, not bad. So he could technically rebuild here. He doesn't really have, well, actually not bad overdrive on the metal extractor, but really he doesn't really have a much of an economic base to work on. Really, just a single mix, nice bunch of solar collectors, but still. What can you do? I'm going to be streaming in all my glaives, which I should have just sent in the Zeuses first, but there we go. I just couldn't wait to send my glaives into their doom. Glaive wreckage just littering the battlefield, and yeah, I should have, yeah, definitely should have kept them back. Let the Zeuses come in first. I mean, they're the ones that are meant to be assaulting, for God's sake, not these glaives against enemy defenses. Still though, yeah, I'm going in gung-ho, and it's going to be working out in either case because I just got the economic advantage. There goes a geothermal plant, and I believe that's it. I'm going to totally annihilate my opponent. Bam. I think I've literally destroyed everything of his, actually. So he actually did get the complete annihilation award, while I got the big purple heart. On the other hand, got the mineral prospector award, so I managed to basically beat the snot out of him in economy. And well, I dare say much of the value he inflicted on me was probably due to all those glaives that I kind of sacrificed, more so than anything else. So what the hell, it's an interesting game to learn from. I did manage to box him in quite a bit, although I did have a couple of weak spots here and there. But overall though, maintaining good radar coverage, managing to see as much of the map as possible in case if I did try to do some fancy raiding. I just needed to do a better job keeping my own raiders alive, actually trying to let the assault bots coming in, or artillery to hammer the enemy from afar to do their job first before sending in the raiders. But but there you go, interesting game indeed. So until next time, this has been Dame Didvich signing off.